Hello everyone, my name is Sarafi and I'm happy to meet you all. And today we have a huge ban list for the OCG. Now of course, the OCG is what Konami themselves care about. The TCG is the redheaded stepchild where Konami decided, okay, we'll let the foreigners play their game. But the OCG is actually impacting Japan and Japanese players. So this has implications for what could happen in Master Duel, and people are excited about that. Like, for example, when Mulcharmy Fuwalos came out, the OCG put max C to 2, and when Mulcharmy Fuwalos came out in Master Duel, they put max C to 2. So it doesn't always happen, but there are some implications. So let's take a look. Now, for context, this is when K9 is live. So K9 has come out, and that's affected a lot. K9 has been like an insanely good deck in the OCG. So let's take a look and see what's changed. Start out with the unhits. Cyber Jar from 2 to 3, that changes nothing. Zodiac Drident from 1 to 3. Drident is still banned in the TCG somehow. This card is not good. It's a rank 4 that requires 4 level 4s, but once per turn you can also exceed summon it by using a Zodiac monster you control as material. And once per turn during either player's turn, you get to detach one material from this card, then target a face-up card on the field and destroy it. So it's a quick effect pop that requires an exceeds material, and that's basically just DP, except that you don't need to destroy your own card, and it can only be played in the Zodiac, basically. So yeah, very not impressive. Zodiac is not a deck that has seen play for quite a while, and this will change nothing. Speedroid Terratop is going from 2 to 3. I honestly thought Terratop was already at 3 in the OCG, but fair enough. Speedroids did get some new cards. I don't think they've seen any play since then, so Terratop may encourage people to do some experimentation. It also sees playing Goblin Bikers, which is a good deck, so maybe that will change things. Maybe there's a rank 3 engine they're trying to push. We'll have to see. Rescue Ace Airlifter has gone from 2 to 3. Since Snake Eyes has gotten hits, Rescue Ace does not see a whole lot of play, so it makes sense that they're trying to encourage that. Nightmare Throne is going from 2 to 3. Yubel is not nearly as strong as it was in the new meta, so that makes sense as well. The TCG has, or the OCG has put Fiendsmith Engraver and Fiendsmith's Track to 1. So Yubel is nowhere near the threat that it used to be, either in the TCG or in the OCG. So it makes sense to get some unhits here. Fusion Destiny is at 3. Remember that in the OCG, Predator Plant Anaconda Verde is already banned. So this is literally just if you happen to draw this card, you can play it. Or if you mill it with Diamond Dude. So yeah, that's fine. Big Welcome Labyrinth is going from 2 to 3. Now we get to the changes that are actually relevant. So this month, Labyrinth has had a top in the OCG. So it wasn't a big top. It was top 8 in a 36 person tournament. But Labyrinth is a deck that is still good, and they have a new card that was printed for them called Trapaholic. So definitely, since they're still getting new cards, Konami wants people to actually play Labyrinth. And with the release of Dominus Impulse, Labyrinth is probably the deck that can make use of that card. So now that Big Welcome is going back to 3, I do expect that Labyrinth will see a bigger representation in the meta. And maybe they're thinking that Labyrinth is the deck to beat K9s, so we'll have to see how that goes. Semi-limits. Sprite Jet is going from 1 to 2. Sprite is a good deck. Straight up, Sprite is a good deck. So the more Sprite cards you can play, the better Sprite will be. You can play Sprite in basically anything. You can play it in Evil Twins. You can play it in Nimble. You can play it in Runic. You can play it in For Hire. There's so many different ways that Sprite can be played. So when Sprite gets unbanned, it does see play. It does see experimentation. All they had to do was put a few cards from 2 to 3 in Master Duel, and Sprite became Tier 3. So definitely a deck that could see play now that it's been unhit. Mask Change 2 going from 1 to 2. So the reason why Mask Change 2 is limited is because of this. Mask Change 2. Discard one card, target a face-up monster you control that has a level, send it to the graveyard. After that, if it left the field by this effect, special summon from your extra deck one masked hero with the same attribute but a higher level than the attribute or level of the monster that had on the field, its original level or attribute face down. Okay, so what you do is you take any dark monster, literally any dark monster that is lower than level 6, you play it. You activate its effect. Your opponent will then activate their infinite impermanence, and you respond with Mask Change 2. For the cost of just 2 cards, this card and a card from your hand, you can dodge the imperm, and you can change whatever your foolish dark monster was into Masked Hero Darklaw, which is a macrocosmos for your opponent. In particular, that's very good because it means that your opponent can't effect Veiler you anymore. Or Max C. They can't Max C either because you can't... Although, of course, any OCG player worth their salt will change to the Max Change too with the Max C. But regardless, they can't effect Veiler you anymore. They can't... I think there are a couple of hand traps. They can't droll, I don't think. Yeah, you can't droll under Master Hero Darklaw either. So, this is a big deal. But I guess the reason why they are doing this is because they have printed new Masked Hero support. So it makes sense that they would want to give Masked Heroes as many copies of Mask Change as possible. Which is good. This is a good change for these players. Next up, we have Wandering Griffin Rider going from 0 to 1. Good. This is an Omni-Negate for adventures, but this is how you play adventure. If you don't have the Omni-Negate, there is literally no reason to play adventure. So the adventure engine is now live in Master Duel again. Or not Master Duel, the OCG. Good. You could probably play this in K9, to be honest. K9 doesn't use their normal summon as far as I know. That's why they play with Vanquish Soul. So, I think I would rather play, to be honest, I think I would rather play K9 with Adventure than I would play K9 with Vanquish Soul, because Vanquish Soul doesn't have any Omni-Negates. So cool. Next up, we have Nightmare Goblin going from 0 to 1. Let's go. This card has been banned, I think, for as long as I've played the game. A ridiculously long time this card has been banned in both the TCG and the OCG. For those of you that are wondering, what's the big deal with this card? It is a Link 2 that has arrows that point to the left and right. And if this card is Link summoned during your turn, you can discard one card. If this card was co-linked when this effect was activated, you can draw one card. Also, during your main phase this turn, you can normal summon one monster from your hand to a zone this card points to in addition to your normal summoner's set. So, you have to have a monster that is in your EMZ pointing to a zone, then you have to link summon Nightmare Goblin, and then you have to discard a card. And if you do all of that, you get one extra normal summon. One. What's the big deal? Well, it was used in Goki a lot, because Goki has really, really good cards, and really, really good recycling, and they don't really care about getting discarded too much. But what they don't have is a lot of normal summons. And they have Super X, which literally lets them repeat their, like, anytime they get a normal summon, they get to summon 2 monsters from their hand, and then they can link summon and do other things. But all the new Goki... So it makes sense that they would unlimit Nightmare Goblin because they're printing a bunch of new Goki support. But all the Goki support prevents you from using the Gokis for anything other than Goki monsters. So I don't know that they're intending for Nightmare Goblin to see play in Gokis. Maybe they're thinking now that since they've put so many locks on Goki, that it's safe to unlimit Nightmare Goblin. Maybe they're thinking, okay, there's no way anyone is going to play Goki without the new support. So let's go ahead and unlimit Goblin so that non-Goki decks can play it. I think that's a safe bet. Would any deck other than Goki play Nightmare Goblin? I mean, pure Nightmare would, of course. But is Mermaid banned still? Mermaid is still banned. If Mermaid is still banned, I don't know that Nightmare Goblin will see any play. Alright, fair enough. Anti-spell fragrance is going from 3 to 1. I'm sure that everyone appreciates that. Floodgates are toxic. Next up, we have the big change that everyone's talking about. Apollousa, Bow of the Goddess, has gone from 3 to 0. Apollousa is now banned in both the TCG and the OCG. Apollousa is, of course, a generic, like, 2 to 4 card monster negate. It is a very frustrating card for people to play through. And now that Apollousa has been banned, people are hoping that maybe she will get banned in the Master Duel as well. That's definitely a possibility, especially once the World Championship Series wraps up. I don't think it's likely for Apollousa to get banned until K9 comes out. But once K9 comes out, then decks will have more easy access to negating hand traps. And once you have the ability to easily negate hand traps, then there becomes a less justification for a multi-monster negate. Apollousa doesn't negate cards on the field, she negates monster effects in general, and she doesn't destroy the card, which makes her best at negating hand traps, because she doesn't need to pop cards that are on the field. So I feel like K9 Ripper is going to be the replacement for Apollousa. So I assume that once we get K9 Ripper, then we're going to see Apollousa removed from the game. And then lastly, we have number 67, Paradise Smasher. Rest in piss, you will not be missed. Number 67, Paradise Smasher, is a rank 5 that literally skips your opponent's turn if you make it with 3 level 5s, and never saw any play, primarily because there was no level 5 deck that easily got 3 cards out at the same time. But K9 is really, really good at that. And they needed something to do because they didn't have any Omnis. So they were just like, all right, fine. Then we'll just... And that's why I'm assuming that's why they have unlimited Griffin Rider. I am sure, I am certain that they're just like, well, K9's really good. We don't want K9 to stop being good. We just want it to stop skipping people's turns. So we'll give them adventure so that they can actually have a negates, and then we'll get rid of Paradise Smasher, which is a good change, you know. So look forward to Adventure K9 becoming probably the new thing, because I don't think that Vanquished Soul is better than Adventure. And there we go. That's the ban list. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. My name is Serafi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.